Okay, so I think that's switched on. Hopefully the sound on this isn't too bad because I haven't actually tested this before. Anyway, so welcome to the channel. This is my first vlog. My name's AJ, and yeah, I'm just going to go for a little bimble in a few minutes. Take you on some of my local favourite roads that I like to do when I get a bit of spare time, and let you know about the kind of riding I do, what sort of bikes I've got, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned, and we'll get cracking. Right, so it's Saturday morning, it's the middle of February. It's actually sunny for a change. It's yeah, it seems to have been a long time coming, this big yellow thing in the sky that puts out heat. But anyway, it's yeah, 7.5 degrees, and it's quite nice. So anyway, as I said at the beginning, I'm going to take you on one of my favourite little rides that I like to do usually on a Sunday morning. But because I've got something on tomorrow morning, I'm going to do it today, just instead. Now normally when I do my Sunday morning ride outs, I don't actually use this beast. I've actually got a 1199 Panigale, and yeah, she's my pride and joy, but before she goes anywhere, those temperatures of digits have got to be into double figures, and plus she could do with some new tyres before she goes anywhere, because unfortunately, towards the end of the biking season last year, I think it was like late November time, I took her out. I knew my rear tyre was going off a little bit, but anyway, by the time I kind of got back, the whole middle part of the tyre had gone. You could see the cord, and yeah, I thought I really want to take her out this morning, but until I get those new tyres on, it's not going to happen. It's not worth the risk. As I said, she's my pride and joy, and when you've kind of got this sat in the stable as a backup, then you'd be pretty stupid to take her out, I think. So anyway, so yeah, so welcome. This is my daily rider that we've got here. It's the 2013 BMW R1200 GS TE Alpine Edition. So I've had this bike coming up, what, 2 years now, and I absolutely love it to bits. As it's been documented a million times, if I was going to keep one bike and use the bike the rest of my days, it probably would be this one. Now, I'm not your stereotypical GS rider. I'm not arrogant. I don't look the other way when somebody puts their hand up or anything like that. I bought this bike because I used to do some touring on an old Honda Pan-European, and that poor old girl was really getting long in the tooth, and I really wanted something to kind of move it on. And at the time, sports tourers and like full dress tourers, unless you went down like the Goldwing or the big BMW route, there really wasn't anything to replace it. And so yeah, me and the missus, we spent a lot of time umming and ahhing what on earth would we replace it with, and by chance at the time, before I had the Panigale, I had a 2012 ZX-10R, and she'd gone in for her annual service, and they lent me a V-Strom 1000, which was my first time on an adventure bike. And I thought, oh yeah, this is quite nice. It was a little bit basic, but I really like the riding position, because in the past when I've been riding, I have actually struggled with getting like pretty bad backache, and as such I did actually go and see a chiropractor for a couple of years, but yeah, I don't do that anymore. But anyway, the V-Strom really allowed me to kind of like sit up properly, and allowed me to start to enjoy riding again, I guess is probably I would probably go as far as say that. But anyway, so we really liked that, and then we started umming and ahhing, thinking, well, yeah, we would like an adventure type bike, but I could have gone then. Oh, you get, look at that, last flipping minute. Thank you very much, buddy. Anyway, let's crack on. Yeah, but we thought, well, there's probably going to be some better bikes out there than the V-Strom. Obviously everybody talks about the GS, and the big KTMs and the like, and we thought, well, the best thing that we can do is do a bit of research, find out which one that we like, and then go and ride one. So, well, we did the research, and it really came down to final two, no, three actually. There was the Multistrada, the KTM 1290, and also this, the GS. So we ummed and ahed a bit more, and we thought, right, okay, I came into some money unexpectedly, and so I decided, right, let's just do this. And at the time, when this all kind of like kicked off, we were on our way back from the French Alps on our old pan-European, and halfway through the trip, it really decided that it didn't want to play ball anymore, with my clutch lever going really spongy, and in fact, when I was going up the Col de Turini, I totally lost it, and I was riding up there blind. I wasn't able to go up and down the gears, and yeah, that was a little bit hairy, but we survived that. But we did actually decide pretty much straight after that, this needs to go sooner rather than later. So anyway, we were on our way back. I think we were in a little motel in Limoges, pretty about halfway home, and yeah, I started looking at Bike Trader, and I started looking at a couple of GS's, and I thought, yeah, I think that's the one that I'm going to go for. And anyway, I inquired whilst I was in Limoges about a couple of GS's, but literally they had gone as soon as they had been put up for sale, especially the ones that were pretty loaded, where they had like the various toys and the sat nav and the panniers and all that kind of jazz. And so I thought, this isn't going to go too well. So anyway, I found one very similar to this one actually, and I arranged to go and see it the day after we got back into the UK. But literally within an hour of ringing up saying, yeah, I'm going to come down and see it, I got a phone call back saying, sorry mate, it's been sold. So I thought, Anyway, I then stumbled across this one. Again, it was on a White Trader, and this one was being sold by BMW Motorrad in Norwich, which is ridden, and they had a pretty decent deal going at the time, and only had 3,000 miles on the clock. And I thought, sod it, I'm just gonna buy it. So I literally rang up there and then made a deposit. Hadn't even seen the bike, had never ridden the bike. But I determined that was the bike that I wanted, and it could have gone so wrong, but luckily it didn't. Collection day came around a week or so later after that, and when I actually got in there, and before I paid the actual the settlement figure, he said, do you actually want to see the bike? Because he knew I hadn't seen it, and I had never even ridden one. I said, yeah, I'll see it, sort of thing, but I'm not bothered about riding it, making out that I'd ridden them all before, but I hadn't. And I went and looked at it, just thought, wow, it was awesome, it had absolutely everything on it, and so I thought, you know what, this is it, I'm going to do it. So I paid the settlement, and then 10 minutes later, there we are, there's me on my GS, and having to figure out how everything worked. And yeah, touch wood, it's been pretty much plain sailing ever since. It is the best bike I've ever ridden, and yeah, I'm not normally impulsive like that, but on this occasion I think I did the right thing. And the best thing is that when I check the residuals every now and then, as I like to, it hasn't really lost any value in nearly those 2 years that I've had it. Okay, I've put another, what, I think we're coming up 10,500 now, so I've put 7.5 on it in a couple of years, and that's nothing on a GS, as I'm sure you all know. But anyway, so that's the story of the GS. But as I said, this isn't my usual weekend warrior, so to speak, especially when it comes to doing a little bit of spirited riding on a Sunday. Ooh, watch out for the walkers. And but yeah, you really don't want Panigale on roads like this. I looked at it this morning and I thought, oh, the tyre's not too bad, it'd be alright. But I remember just before Christmas when I finally gave in. I think it was the first or second week in December, and I took her up to Tesco's to fill her up so that I could get the fuel stabiliser in. And just riding there and back, I was barely touching the throttle. I had it in rain mode as well, so that it had like really softened off the power delivery, and but it was like riding on glass. It really was, and I thought, nah, that's your lot. You need to be sensible. So yeah, so I'm going to wait a few more weeks, and then yeah, she'll come out to play. But before I do that, as I said, I need to get some new tyres on her. The front, she went in actually quite high mileage, 1199 to be honest. She's a 2013 in bright red, of course, but she's just actually tripped over the 15,000 mile mark, so I got a really good deal on her when I bought her last March, and so I wasn't too bothered, and I knew she was due the big Desmo service, but I kind of like factored that into my bargaining, and really helped to get that plus a bit more off the actual asking price, which I was pretty chuffed about. So yeah, anyway, she went in for the Desmo service at the tail end of last year, about October time, and yeah, she went through fine, but a couple of things that they did say, one of which was the front tyre was getting nearly past it. They reckon at some point somebody kind of like gone into corners too hard, and it was like it made the curvature of the tyre go a little bit funny. It felt fine to me, to be honest, but that was what they said. And quite funnily as well, they didn't actually mention the rear tyre, which yeah, died I think the second ride after that. So I thought, maybe you should have looked at the back one a bit more. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, she's waiting for new tyres, and also for it to get a little bit warmer. So I'll get those fitted. Been doing a little bit of research on what I should put on this time, because the Pirelli Supercorsa SP2s that she's on at the minute, which is like the factory fit ones, they yeah, they really need the weather to be absolutely perfect. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna have problems. I.e., like what I did, where it felt like I was riding on glass. So I'm looking for some alternatives that will last a bit longer, are a bit more usable in more conditions. Look at the state of this road. I am so glad I am not on today. But anyway, I think I've decided that I'm going to replace the SP Corsas with SP Corsa. What the hell's that? Super Corsa SP2s. Sorry. With a set of Metzler M7 RRs. So it's quite difficult to find many reviews on any other tyres, but a lot of people seem to agree that they really do need to be optimum conditions for them to work properly. So yeah, I'm going to go for those, and we'll see how we get on, because I don't take her on a track, I don't ride the absolute nuts of her, and well, I have the odd occasion where I like to get a bit spirited, but anyway, I digress again. So yeah, so I'm going to go for a set of them. I'm going to get them ordered probably next payday, and then I can arrange to get those fitted, and at the same time get her MOT done, and then she'll be good to go. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and getting out to put a few miles on her. Anyway, we're going to turn left here and head over towards Haverhill Way. So yeah, so that's my bikes. There is a third one in the family, but it's the wife's, and she hasn't actually got a bike license, but she is the biker of the two of us, which sounds a bit bizarre. But anyway, long story short, she's got a Piaggio MP3 500 Sport. It's a 2016 model, so it's pretty new, and it's only done just over 1,000 miles. She very rarely uses it, and but I just keep it nice and clean and healthy, all locked up in the garage. And yeah, we need to get her out and have her annual service in the next few weeks too. But that one shouldn't be too bad, because she's got a lifetime warranty on it from the dealership, and also she's got a service plan for that one as well, so in theory we shouldn't have to pay anything out when she goes in. So yeah, so that's the bikes, that's what we've got. So a little bit about me then. I've been riding, it'll be 6 years this summer, and which is, I'm quite a late comer to this, and as I said, it was my missus who was the biker. When she was younger, she was always out on the back of the local lads' bikes, and they always used to take turns to try and scare her, and it was a bit of a standing joke that nobody ever could. So yeah, she often used to, they used to scare themselves more than they used to scare her. Not that that's big or clever or anything, but I think that's pretty impressive, and that's my girl. But yeah, she's been riding for, well, she had like a little trials bike years ago, and when she was a kid, and it was bored out, little old 125, but it was bored out so she could keep up with the bigger boys. And but on her way home one day, she got a little bit fruity and got a bit carried away and threw it in a ditch. Anyway, she promised her old man she'd never ride again, and that kind of stood from, yeah, she was 18, and then she started riding again when we got her a little scooter, or 2 or 3 years ago, and she's 49 now, so so I think we honoured that promise long enough. But she's yeah, she loves it. I just want her really to kind of like get out more and experience this. I was kind of hoping she'd come out this morning, but yeah, she's been a bit tired and didn't really want to kind of get all the gear on. She doesn't like getting cold, but hey ho, it's alright. I can't moan too much. I'm not cold at the moment. I'm as I said, it's actually dropped a bit. It's 7 degrees now. I've got my heated grips on, I've got my thermals on, and yeah, I'm fine. No worries at all. But anyway, the reason I'm kind of out on this ride today is normally my riding day is Sunday, as it is with most other people, but I actually start my advanced rider training tomorrow, and I just want to kind of like get out, get some of the lunacy out of my system a little bit, so that I'm ready and in the right frame of mind for the initial assessment tomorrow. So yeah, I'm doing that with CAM, which is Cambridge Advanced Motorcyclists. They're part of IAM, and yeah, and I'm going to be meeting up with my observer tomorrow morning, and yeah, we're going to go like on an initial run. Not very far, we reckon it's about 20 miles or so we can get an idea of like where my riding's at, and the kind of areas that we need to focus on throughout the training, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. And he'll then have a baseline, and then over the coming weeks and months we'll go out for some more rides, I'm sure, and yeah, and hopefully get my advanced rider qualification in the next few months, and yeah, which will allow me to kind of get more out of my bikes, I guess, and allow me to exploit them a little bit more, because when I was asked to describe my riding history when I was being assigned an observer, and I really kind of, when I put it into black and white, it's this bike that I'm more confident on. It sounds ridiculous, but I feel that I can throw this bike into corners a lot quicker and faster than what I can say my Panigale, and I don't know if that's because of the whole riding position or something, but I used to be the same like on my Pan-European as well. I used to be able to sling that into corners far quicker and better than my ZX-10R, and before that my Street Triple R, and before that my first ever bike, my old 98 S-Rad 600. So that was yeah, it's really, really strange. I don't know why. They don't really intimidate me, because I try not to ride in such a way that I scare myself, and where I put myself into a situation that I can't get out of or I can't control. Yeah, as I said, I do like to get a little bit spirited every now and then, but who doesn't? That's the whole point of having a bike. But I kind of know my limits, but my limits on a sports bike seem to be lower than that on, say, a tourer or an adventure bike. Weird. If you've got any idea why that could be, I would really like to know hear from you about it. So yeah, leave a comment in the section below if you think that you have an understanding of what could cause that and what I could do to fix it. I'm kind of hoping that these advanced rider training sessions are going to enable me to get past that and just give me more confidence. I'm not interested in getting my knee down on every corner and going round, but I want to be confident in my riding, and because trust me, when you ride something like my Panigale, you need to be switched on. You can't take liberties with her. The 1199 has got a reputation for being an absolute weapon, and in fact the 1299 was brought out purely to tame the 1199, because the bigger engine means that the engine is more friendly, it's more forgiving, and of course the electronics were a little bit more advanced as well. But yeah, she certainly keeps you awake, and I haven't had any hairy moments, apart from one I barreled into a corner too much, jammed on the brakes, and yeah, I felt that rear end go a little bit light, but it was all good. I got round, no problems whatsoever. But yeah, interesting. So we're just coming up to the end of this first part of the ride. I hope my waffling on hasn't bored you too much, but I kind of wanted to give you a little bit about my backstory, I suppose, with my riding. Oh yeah, one thing I haven't really touched on so far is that I try to do like a biking tour each year with me and the wife. We have our wedding anniversary every June, and the last few years we've tried to like go somewhere. The only exception being last year, where I kind of cocked it up myself, meaning that we couldn't go. Normally what we do is, as I say, we go away like for our wedding anniversary and go somewhere where we haven't been before, and yeah, I kind of bought her tickets to see Robbie Williams in the middle of the week that we would normally be away, meaning that we didn't do a biking tour, but we got away for a few days, which was always nice, and we did a bit of camping on the bikes as well, if I remember rightly. So yeah, good fun, good fun, but not this year. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do this year. I think because we've done like Snowdonia, and we did that for a week a few years back. That was our first proper tour. Really loved it, as we had like a base every night in just a place just outside Colwyn Bay called Ross on Y, I think, or no, Ross on Sea, that was it. And yeah, we had a really good time and spent the week bombing around the amazing roads that are in that part of the world. Had a really good time. Then the second year we went up to Scotland, and we did the NC 500, or rather I think it was the NC 767, which is the slightly longer version. That was fantastic. Weather wasn't the best, and that was a different kettle of fish to the Wales one, because we didn't have a base. We had to carry all of our gear with us every day. At the time I had the Pan-European, and it absolutely lapped it up. It didn't seem to matter how much extra weight you were carrying on that bike. It was always very stable, always very confidence inspiring, and yeah, it was just great fun, to be honest. So yeah, we did that, but the weather wasn't great, and by the time we got back, we'd been away for what, 8 or 9 days, because on the way back we went via the Lake District and the Yorkshire Dales, and yeah, we were both pretty much wrecked by the time we got home, and we needed another holiday to get over it. But hey, that was that one. And then 2 years ago, as I said, we didn't do one last year, but the year before we did the French Alps, which was our first foray into Europe on the bike. And yeah, it killed the Pan-European, but it was amazing. We went down to the French Alps, and we kind of, yeah, we followed like Route Napoleon down, and we actually, after we'd kind of like done a couple of transiting days to get there, we stayed in a quaint little village called Castellane, which is right in the heart of the Alps. Beautiful little place, bit of a biking mecca. So if you're looking for a good base around there, it's loads of bikes, loads of campsites, loads of awesome roads. It's right on the verge of, next door to something called the Verdon Gorge, which is absolutely spectacular. There's a blue lagoon there, and the colour of the water is out of this world. It doesn't look natural, it really doesn't, but it's fantastic. And yeah, we had a great time, and I'm sure if the bike hadn't decided to die, it would have been even better. But yeah, those switchback hairpins were something else. It was so much fun, and really helped with building my confidence as well in knowing what I can do on the bike like that. So yeah, so this year we have decided that we are definitely going to do something. So we did have 2 in mind, but I think it's just going to be the 1. But that may change. So the one that's definitely going to happen is in June again. That's on our wedding anniversary, and we're not going abroad this time. We're going to go and do Wales again, but we're going to do mid Wales this time. Neither of us have ever been to mid Wales, and by the looks of like some of the research we've done, there just isn't a bad road in Wales. So yeah, we're going to pick a few places that we want to see. Not massively spend a lot of time planning the route, and then go do it, to be honest. So yeah, that's that one. And then the second one, I have been tinkering with the idea of going to see a European MotoGP race, because I really like my MotoGP, and I would love to go and watch like an Italian one. So because the Mugello one is very close to our wedding anniversary, and it's kind of like the week before, it doesn't really work for us going away, so we looked at Misano, which is in September, and we thought, oh yeah, that'll work out nice. Kids will be back at school, it'll be well, not that my kids go back to school, to be honest, because they're both growing up and out, and but yeah, we thought about like doing that, and then but we thought, oh, it's a really long way. My wife really doesn't like the transiting days. She doesn't like sitting there. She gets all stiff and tired very easily. And to be fair, I don't blame her. It's not much fun sitting on like auto routes and auto pistas or whatever other terminology you want to use depending on what European country you're in. But she isn't really too keen, so we looked at some alternatives of maybe she would like fly out somewhere and I'd pick her up from, say, Bologna, which wouldn't be too bad. But we started looking at tickets to the MotoGP, and I always thought that going to see a European race was meant to be cheaper than what it is here. Plus, I'm not a massive fan of Silverstone, to be honest, but no, it was really pricey. So yeah, I've also as well, when we started looking at, okay, maybe we shouldn't take the bike, maybe we should just fly down and hire a car. And if I want to hire a car for like the 10-day trip that I'm planning on doing, I'm looking at like £600 for the car hire. That's like not even anything fancy. It's like the cheapest one that either like Avis or Hertz or any other car rental brand down that way have got on offer. So yeah, it's not gonna happen, unfortunately. But hey ho. So we're kind of having a bit of a rethink about the whole September thing, what we're going to do, because it is kind of meant to be our big holiday of the year. We've kind of both put 10 days aside for it, and we want to make it special. So maybe that'll mean instead of doing that, maybe we go somewhere further afield, or maybe we do look at doing a European bike trip or something. I don't know. It's a nice problem to have, but we'll figure it out. But anyway, I'm going to shut up a little bit now, because I've been rabbiting a hell of a lot. But we're just coming up to the start of my favourite local roads. I do like those first twisty ones that we're on, but obviously not this time of year when they're all covered in crap. Hopefully in a sec when we get out the other side of this village, the roads will be clear, and we can have a bit of fun, which will be nice. While I think about the trips and stuff, if you are interested in seeing a bit more about the trips that we've done and some of the events that myself and my missus get up to, along with reading our blog and stuff, we have actually got a website called ajbiker.com. If you want to head on over there, I'll put a link in the comments below, and yeah, you can get a bit more information. I'll try and keep it up to date, and hopefully we'll get some new content on there real soon, especially now this better weather's coming, because during the winter months I always kind of get a little bit of cabin fever. I don't like being cooped up. I like to be out and about. I like to feel the sun on my face, and yeah, I am planning on making the most of it. So anyway, here we go. Get rid of all the crap on the brakes. A bit damp around here, but the roads seem to be clear. That's the important thing. So at the minute I haven't bothered putting the bike into dynamic mode or anything. It's literally just in normal road mode, and I've got the suspension on just normal settings as well. If it was a little bit drier I would probably change that up a bit, but it's nice to kind of like keep the throttle nice and smooth, and really be able to enjoy the power this bike has without getting a little bit twitchy. Yeah, I love this road, it's fabulous. When it's bone dry, and you get a lot of bikes out this way. As we'll see in a few minutes when we go for a little village called Finchingfield, it certainly draws in the bikes. So hopefully there'll be a couple there today. Sometimes I stop off, there's a nice little cafe down on the green. It's a beautiful little traditional English village. And yeah, with some lovely bikes and scenery to look at. So let's take this corner. Look at that manhole. It's always right on the line. It really spoils that corner. Hey ho. Looks like we're clear. Here's the road. Really tip her in. See, beautiful. It really is effortless on this bike. This bike is so torquey as well. Not constantly up and down the box either. Like I'm saying fifth here, and yeah, she's got plenty of pull. Some of the Lycra Brigade are out and about. That's one thing about this these roads that we're kind of on today. When it is proper nice, it does look like the Tour de France around here. There are hundreds of them. They're like the pack animals. They travel together, and I think it does annoy me. But I don't want to start beating up cyclists or anything like that. But I always ride when there's a big pack of them, they're like two abreast, three abreast sometimes, and they just have absolutely no regard for anybody else kind of like coming up behind them, and I don't understand that. But they are. Moan over, sorry. but not today. Today, oh, it's now a stunning 8 degrees, and there's next to no traffic on the road. I'll dispatch this Herbert in a minute. Looks like he's got a couple of bikes in the back of there. Not motorbikes, unfortunately. Alright, we can go, off we go. It makes me laugh at this corner. There's always a little river that runs across it. And it's actually nearly dry. That's super rare. Even in the middle of the summer there's usually something... Oh, hello. Twitchy. There's usually something running across the road there. And I always tippy-toe through it, especially when I'm on like the Panigale or something else. It isn't quite as capable as this bad boy. Anyway, look, little catering. Right then, nice little straight bit coming up. Oh, such a child. Avoid all that wet crap, thank you very much. The little T-junction where we turn right, and we'll head down into the lovely village of Finchingfield, as I mentioned. See who's out and about. Okay, anything coming? This one's a funny little junction. It's just effortless on this bike. 60 comes up so quick. Little said green. The little windmill. As I said, it's very picturesque, this little place. Oh, look at that place for sale. I'd hate to think what that's going for. Works out my price range. Anyway, so yeah, check this beautiful place out. I'm just going to head round to the right. And oh look, absolutely no bikes. What? What's wrong with you all? Oh, there's one. Little cheeky 125 out and about. But yeah, normally that little green there, it gets absolutely rammed. It really does. Just see behind, it's yeah, stunning little place. It really is. But not today. All the wusses are still at home. Come on, get out, it's beautiful. Put another layer on, get your heated grips on. Perfect. around this bit as well, because of all the trees, and especially this time of year. There's a couple of corners here, and they do get quite greasy, especially when the tractors have been out and about. There's a little EasyJet plane up there. On his way into Stansted, I guess. So we're not a million miles from there. I'm not gonna kind of like go crazy and do these videos every day or 3 times a week like some of the more established people do, but yeah, I want to kind of like get some sort of like regular cadence going on with just kind of like letting you know what's going on, my thoughts on various subjects, and MotoGP when that finally starts back up again as well, and WSB and DSB. I like to go for a little ride and kind of like mull things over, and it'd be really nice if you come with me. Let's chat. And I said, what are you thinking? See, I told you, I'm not a stereotypical GS rider. I do nod and wave, and that was a Harley rider. And everybody knows that Harley riders don't do anything either, but he did. See? It's not true. Not true.